What's up guys, DK2D here. First of all, I just want to apologize if the sound quality or the video quality of this video is not the best compared to what you're used to in my previous videos. That is, if you're a subscriber, and of course if you're a new person to this channel, welcome to this channel. So the main reason for this video is a quick response to what MKBHD dropped on his latest video, which is related to Google's response to iMessage for Apple users. So before I go in or just start talking about my say or my take on his video, I would like to take this video like way back to more than 10 years ago, like where it all started. So if you're new to videos like this, buckle up, take a popcorn, take a Coke, relax, and I'm gonna take this way. I'm joking. Alright, so jokes apart, so back in the day, before smartphone became a thing, before phones became as smart as they are today, there existed a big brother known as BlackBerry. So BlackBerry was one of the biggest selling smartphone out there when phones became smart. It got its own platform for messaging, which was known as the BBM, BlackBerry Messaging app, which comes with a pin. So if you own a BlackBerry, you would have your own unique pin. Just like now, everyone has their own, iCloud accounts, which is unique to yourself and your password. But back in those days, it was called BB Messenger, which is a unique pin that is sent to you. And you would send this pin to a friend, and then they will add you on their phone. That was a social media back in its day, where you could, send messages, send reply, text, even pictures and all that. Actually, this got lots of people in trouble. I see people started dating using this app, and people lost their relationship also using this app because someone could, go into your messages. I don't really know how that worked, if message was not being encrypted or if there was a way to hide a message. Because I never used BlackBerry, so I don't know how exactly that worked. But then BlackBerry Messenger was a big deal back in its day. And I even remember in the early 2010 when I said to my friend, I said, look, I think BlackBerry is losing out of the market. Like, BlackBerry smartphones are not selling anymore because iPhone was actually killing the game, and also Samsung was also killing the game. So these two were the competitors back then in early 2010, and BlackBerry was just like really the sale of BlackBerry just kept going down. And actually the people you could see during the early 2010 still using BlackBerry smartphones were hardcore fans of BlackBerry users because they were still hoping that BlackBerry would do something new. They actually tried doing something new, but it didn't really sell that much. That being said, the Messenger app that I spoke to my friend about then came out, I think, a year or two after, but then it was already too late because while we were there thinking about BlackBerry Messenger, there was another messenger on the horizon, which was WhatsApp. So WhatsApp started building its way while BlackBerry was, still thinking it was the king of, smartphone, or still thinking it's got an app or messaging community that it could use to trap its customers. While we all know that humans, we can't be stuck to one thing forever. Like, if you give us something that is good, obviously we would come to the good side. But once something better starts emerging, obviously we're going to start moving towards something that is better. But BlackBerry did fail to, acknowledge this. There was already a social media or an app which could, allow cross-platform messengers, and also you could also send file. And WhatsApp would actually allow you to send more files than whatever you could send on BlackBerry. So many people were moving towards WhatsApp. Apple did saw this idea, and Apple came up with iMessage. While WhatsApp was getting bigger, iMessage was also getting bigger. But then WhatsApp was actually the primary third-party messaging app, which was really growing so fast, and BlackBerry refused to acknowledge this. It was just trying to, put Apple back to where it belongs, but not knowing that Apple actually was already the boss, like way ahead of what BlackBerry could ever dream of. So by the time BlackBerry came up with this messaging app for third parties such as Apple and also Android, it was already too late. I actually did install this, and I also asked friends who's got BlackBerry Messenger to get their pin. I did get the pin, but again, after a couple of message exchanging, I'll be honest, I saw that it's no big deal. Like, it was just another random app for messaging. The feeling was not the same. So WhatsApp was actually still my primary go-to app when it comes to messaging, and therefore I think BlackBerry messaging app just started dying, even if it's been introduced to third parties such as Apple and also Google. So even if Google Messenger is trying to respond to iMessage by limiting iMessage or iMessage users to see if someone reacts to a message that was sent, I would actually say Apple users don't really care because that hardcore Apple user has been people. We did know that using an Apple device, you've been limited to many features that Android had to offer. But still, we did stick to, using Apple device. A simple example. So if you're new to, this whole tech news or tech community scene, or you're someone from the, let's say, early 2000s or just late 2010s down, you might not understand, but this is what I'm trying to say. That the early users of iPhones were only limited to taking pictures. We could not take videos with our iPhone 2G and also 3G. I think videos was introduced from 3GS. So the first 2 years of iPhone users could not take video, unless obviously you were deep into the system of, jailbreak community, then you would want to jailbreak your iPhone so that you could make video. Again, once you start using your iPhone to make video, if for some reason your iPhone do have any problem, you have lost your warranty because Apple would not cover a phone that was jailbroken. But again, that is a video for another day. This is just to tell you how Apple has limited features for iPhones, even up to today. But still, Apple users have been it's been like a religion or a tradition where Apple users still, stick to Apple devices, even if they know that they're limited to doing some things. But still, they still want to use a MacBook, they still want to use an iPad, or we still want to use an iPhone. So that being said, Apple started growing over time to when they introduced iMessage. And iMessage became really big, which I think is still one of the biggest messaging app right now. So iMessage became so big to the point where every Apple users prefer to use iMessage over any other app. If you tell me that you're using WhatsApp over iMessage, well, that could be because most of the people you do communicate with do not have iMessage or do not use an iPhone. Otherwise, if they do use iMessage, you would understand the features that iMessage could offer. WhatsApp can even offer that. For example, if I take a picture, say, with the highest resolution from an iPhone or even any iPhone, if I send the same picture to you or to even 100 users of iMessage, the resolution remains the same. The quality remains the same. Why? If you do that on cross-platform messaging app, for example, say WhatsApp, if I take a picture and send to you via WhatsApp, the resolution would be reduced. That is because it compresses the file. And the same happens if I send you a video. The resolution is going to be so shitty on WhatsApp. Why? On iMessage, the resolution remains the same. So this over the years has made iMessage be the best messaging app for Apple users to go to. However, in iOS 15, Apple did see this, that many Android users are actually being lost behind. So they introduced where you can actually share a link for someone who is using a different device to, get the link and then be in iMessage with you. But what Apple refused to do is allow them to have 100% fluid usage of the iMessage. So what they could do is just get the experience, but they can't really do a lot compared to someone like you or I who is using an iMessage. And this is really hurting Google and also Samsung. And according to MKBHD, they said Google has now made a response. So for example, if on an iMessage chat, if I respond to a message, say for example, put a smiling face emoji on a message that was sent to in a group where we have people using, because I do have friends as well who's using an Android device, and sometimes we invite them to our iMessage chat. Unfortunately for them, they won't get the same experience as someone else who's using an Apple device. So if I respond to a certain message, it won't come out the way it should for someone using an iPhone. It would come out differently, saying, oh, this person made a reaction like that. So the experience is not the same. And MKBHD said that now Google is trying to make Apple have a taste of its own medicine, to say that when someone responds from Google Chats or you respond to a message, someone using an iPhone would not see the response the way it should actually look like if you're on an Android device. And here is where my response come in. After saying all the stories that I have said, if they make any sense. Like people who stopped to using iPhones back in the early days till today, they don't really care about what Google has to offer about when it comes to iMessage or about Google Message, because we're so sunk into our ecosystem and our iMessage that we don't care even if we don't see the message the way it is intended to be from Google, because we do love our iMessage actually, and that's why we've been with Apple from day one to now. And two, the reason why this is not going to affect Apple as a company as a whole is because Apple bends to no one, to Samsung or Android itself, or even to Google itself, because Apple knows what it's doing. Apple has been growing like that for iMessage. The only reason why I believe that they even tried to introduce iMessage to other brands or other platform, or to make it a cross-platform, is to make people who love their Android so much to have just a glance of the experience of the Apple ecosystem. So if these people have a glance of this, they'll be like, oh wow, like this is good, this is beautiful. I think my next upgrade or my next smartphone would be an iPhone. Oh, okay. Maybe they love their phone so much, they love Android so much, but they might start thinking maybe I should get an iPad, or maybe I should get, a MacBook. To me, I think this introduction of iMessage or FaceTime to third-party users on iOS is just a way for Apple to, to drag more customers into the ecosystem. And therefore, if Samsung comes out with some random blue bubble versus green bubble tweak on how their messages should look like when an Apple user receives a message or receives something that's been modified, or a reaction to a message, I don't think that necessarily is going to have an effect on Apple users in general. And I don't think Apple would even care, because at the end of the day, this movement of having your own messaging app, I think, was started by Apple after obviously the death of BlackBerry. And like I said initially, I think it's a business strategy. So my response to MKBHD, I think Apple knows what they're doing. I think Apple aligned all the people to, or having a glance of a tiny bit of the ecosystem, which is the iMessage and the FaceTime, is just a way to pull more customers from Android. That being said, I hope you do understand what I'm trying to say. So Apple is not going to bend. Apple would only make more profits. I think Apple users don't really care about what Android is trying to, tweak to make an Apple user want to move back or move to an Android. So I just think a hardcore iPhone user is an hardcore iPhone user, and Apple is still going to make money no matter what Google does at the end of the day. If you enjoyed a video like this, do make sure you do subscribe, because I'll be making more videos, and hopefully in my next video I will be in my new place with my microphone and obviously with my gear, so with a proper camera. And I'll see you guys back there. And if you're returning subscribers, hey, thank you for coming back. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.